Chicken cork.
So for many, many years, I've been inspired by Kamala. She is just what I feel the epitome of what a mother is supposed to be. And she has once again proven just her dedication to the journey that she's on with her children. At this point, all three of you have published books. Yourself,
Yes.
your daughter, and your son. Today,
Yes.
I'd like to start with your book because I think it starts kind of telling us how the rest came to be.
Right. So D is for Different, One Woman's Journey to Acceptance. I wrote this in 2011, and I wrote it in a year.
Wow.
It was published in less than a year. It was published in May 2012, and it's a brief glimpse of my journey to acceptance of myself, one, becoming a single mom to two kids when Thomas was 1 and Lillian was 5, and Lillian with her special needs. She has a chromosome abnormality, and it's called 18p minus. Affects about 1 in 56,000 people. So it's
very
rare.
rare.
It doesn't have a name.
Very rare.
And this, I just felt I needed to share my journey, and so I did, and each chapter is a letter of the alphabet. A is for acceptance, B is for better, C is for courage, and at the end of each chapter is a tip for the journey. So that's what began it, our becoming a family of published authors.
Well, that explains the D is for Different.
Yes, and that's the D chapter. D is for different.
So let's talk about Lillian's book. Where Would You Fly? I love the title, and that's actually Lillian.
That is a picture of Lillian. I
Like
am
an angel.
an amateur photographer also. I love taking pictures of nature and of us in nature as well. And so that was taken during a sunset, and she just happened to have her fairy wings on. So
It's just
I think
beautiful.
It was about 2010 maybe.
So what was the inspiration behind Lillian's book?
We began talking when she was probably 4 or 5, that we felt we wanted to do a book together one day. And we actually wrote probably 4 or 5 stories when she was 4 years old and 5 years old together. And some of those are in the book. And I note at the end of each story or poem, I note at what age she wrote it. So it's noted in there those few that we wrote together when she was 4 years old, and it just took this long for it to come to fruition.
So this is a whole
So-
bunch of stories.
It is. In the beginning of last year, I knew that it was time to do hers. So I don't know, I just kind of was waiting for the inspiration of how to put something forth, whether it be just one story or what, and the idea just came to put them all in one book and then go from there. So I did. I combed through all of her blog posts all the way back to 2006 or 2007, and organized it all and weeded some out, kept some in.
Lillian, are you excited about having your own book?
Yes, I am.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes, I am.
This was a lot of hard work to write all these stories.
Yes, it sure is.
It sure was. And so I'm just wondering, where would you fly? If you could go anywhere, where would you fly?
Florida, Hawaii,
Florida
Utah.
and Hawaii?
Did you say Utah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I said Utah.
Florida, Hawaii, and Utah.
Yeah.
What are you expecting to find in Hawaii?
That's my niece.
The beach?
Yeah.
The beach, yeah. Well, the beach is a good spot.
Yeah.
I bet you're going to see some beautiful sunsets too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are you guys hoping that other people get from Lillian's book?
Inspiration. And especially for her peers, it's been very meaningful for her peers. We're getting wonderful feedback from her peers who have 18p minus as well, or who have any chromosome 18 deletion or duplication. And I think just with any kind of something that has gone, different with their chromosome or genes, they're inspired by it because they can say, look,
You can
she's
accomplish
got,
these things.
yeah. So it's been
You're
inspiring.
encouraging other kids to accomplish things
Yeah.
that maybe they
I
thought they
am.
couldn't do.
Yeah. We have one chromosome 18 parent mom whose daughter wanted her to bring it into her class and read it to the class. I think she's in the 5th grade. And she took it in and read it, and the teacher turned it into a lesson about, doing what it is
Wow.
you feel like you're meant to do.
So now you're
So-
teaching other kids.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your brother Thomas here for a minute. Thomas also, he did
Yeah.
a book before Lillian.
Yes.
And Thomas's book is really interesting too because it's just a completely different concept.
It is. It is. When he was 8 years old, a friend sent to me an article about a photographer who had taken a photo every day, or if I'm remembering this correctly, of a minifigure out, and he travels a lot because he's a professional photographer. So wherever he went, he would take a picture of this minifigure.
Right.
And Thomas asked me after reading that if he could do that, and I said sure. So with his own money, he bought the little minifigure camera. He already had the little man, and he started taking a picture every day of the little guy, taking a picture of something here in northern Nevada, so Reno and Sparks. And
So it's photography
the
of all
area.
over our area.
Yeah, yeah. And at one point he did say, gosh, this is a lot of work. I want to stop doing this. And I gave him that option. I said, you can stop doing it. I just want you to think about what it's going to feel like if you finish it, and then what it's going to feel like if you don't finish it. And he thought about it and for a day and decided that he wanted to finish it.
I think the hardest part was doing it, continuing to do it, because it was hard and it also took a year. I really wanted to have a book in the end.
And I told him we would make it into a book if he did finish it as well. And it just took me a little while to get around to it because he did it when he was 8 years old and 9 years old. So that was published October 2016. That took a lot of work to go through all the 300 and something photos, and that's only about half the photos. So we had to decide which ones to include.
Of course. Well, I just want to say I think that it's hard enough for one family member to finish a book, but certainly difficult for all three, and for you to help your kids through that process, and to have something that they'll have for the rest of their lives that they can be proud of, and to show that you really can do anything if you put your mind to it, no matter your age, no matter anything. So I just really wanted to tell this story because I want to encourage other parents to think out of the box and go big with your kids. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.
you.
Lillian, thank you. And
Yeah,
thank you
no
to
problem.
Thomas as well.